Hey, look out. It is Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
And I'm Morgan Levine.
That young lady you see there on the screen, Zoom screen, it is Anita Renfroe. Anita, how are you?
Hey, my hands are unusually large due to the screen camera.
Oh, man.
You know, talking with her before we went live, she's been isolated way too long.
Yes. I have not been using up all my words. There's such an overabundance, all walled up in this isolation in my house that, believe me, whenever I get back out and people are able to gather again, I got so much to talk about. Y'all may have like 4-hour shows. I hope y'all can stand it.
Anita Renfroe in her is that your living room or what? Where is it?
It is. We're in Wichita, Kansas, where our grandbabies are, and my husband is a care pastor at the church here, and we have just been walled up in this teeny tiny rent house, which is making for some amazing comedy. I can't wait to talk about it all. But I'll tell you some today. There's just nowhere to go. It's like being in a tiny house. I've been talking about them for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And now the Lord is bringing it all home, literally, to me. Okay. I'm going to go do the basement. You stay right here, and I'll try to miss you. That's what we're working on right now. Like, there's just no way to miss anyone. We're all right here. So it's kind of hilarious in being concerning, but I alternately pray and laugh. It's just, I pray for the world. I pray for our doctors and our nurses and the frontline researchers to figure this mess out, because it seems like the whole ventilator situation only makes things worse. Isn't that the way that we, in our own wisdom, try to figure it out according to how things have been? And then now we're hearing all the stories of people just dying on those respirators. And I'm like, okay, Lord, please reveal whatever is new or different about this virus to someone.
Yeah.
So we can start treating it in a manner that's going to help people overcome it and live.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stuck between that and the fact that apparently I always told myself I was a social eater, but it's becoming so clear that I'm also an isolation eater. So I can never say I'm a social eater again with any authenticity. I am like a savant at eating when alone.
A savant.
I am so high. I'm so high above the average. I'm having
my goodness.
like 3rd breakfasts, and I'm down to the 18th power in snacks. I'm like, I'm totally killing it. I wish my food supply were going to hold out. I feel like enforced fasting is coming once I can't get out and get anymore. Right now, I'm nailing it.
You say 3rd breakfast like that's unusual. Is that unusual? Do you not have that?
I normally don't. This is new for me.
Okay.
Apparently, other people have been doing this for a while. Y'all, especially, you get up early and go into the station normally. I bet y'all are having 4th and 5th breakfast before.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Yeah,
No.
we can't fit through the doors or our wedding dresses. So there you go.
I don't know what to say about this, except I feel like they talk about obesity being a complicating issue of COVID, but I feel like soon that's going to be everybody's underlying condition if we walk out of our houses.
Yep.
And so maybe that's the Chinese, that's their plan, is lock us all down, get us all fat, send a second wave, and we're gone. We're gone. So y'all be careful with the snacking. That's all I can say.
Anita Renfro's conspiracy theory right there, ladies and gentlemen. You can buy it for $19.99. AnitaRenfro.com. Check it out.
True that.
All right, Anita, we were talking before we went on, well, I guess on air, whatever you want to call it, whatever we are nowadays, on Zoom. And we were asking about John. John's had health problems in the past. How is he doing? And you were saying he's kind of lucky right now, actually.
Well, I just feel like the Lord loves some people more than others. I mean, I used to think I was the Lord's favorite, but apparently other people are his favorites. And I'll tell you why. My husband has had many autoimmune issues during his life, and different things pop up at different times. But after he had his staph infection, he was hospitalized for 10 days, and we really were I was begging God, to let him live, mainly because I wasn't prepared to date again, and I didn't want to start over with a new man. I spent 38 years training up this one in the way he should go, and he knows, he gets me. He doesn't always understand me, but he gets me. So I don't want to start off with a new man, right? Because I haven't shaved some things for a long time. So all I'm saying is he had a very serious illness, and so he came out after 10 days, but he is forever marked immunocompromised because of that staph infection. And so, of course, it was very disturbing when they came out with all the things that said if you have underlying conditions, this is very dangerous to you. But for the last 6 months, his rheumatologist has had him, coincidentally, wink, wink, the Lord's favorite, wink, wink, on hydroxychloroquine for his arthritis. And he wasn't responding that great to it. So the doctor said, well, let's just reduce the dose and you just stay on a maintenance dose for a few months and we'll see. That was 6 months ago. So literally, my husband has been on the only drug that seems to have prophylactic, like frontline doctors are taking it to try not to get the COVID while they're trying to help patients. So he's on the one and only drug that seems to be helping people not get it. And I'm like, John, the Lord loves you more than most of us.
He knew that you needed John there. So
right. No shaving. Hashtag no shaving. So
TMI.
Well, no, I'm saying a lot of guys are like, oh, I'm not shaving during the quarantine. I'm like, what's wrong? What's new about that?
Maybe we should have talked to John instead of Anita.
You would have gotten a much more spiritual response.
Well, he's a pastor. He has to say that.
It's like it's like a career, career thing. You have to career answer Jesus, right? Even though Jesus is the answer, but also hydroxychloroquine in our household. So I can't verify for anybody else, but I'm so thankful. This is a totally serious moment. I'm so thankful that he has been on it due to no choice of our own, but that the Lord looked down into the future and said, my favorite needs to be protected. So the rest of us are just, who knows? We're just trying to stay well, taking everything. So yeah, I shout out to all the people that are observing Lent that chose social interaction as what they were giving up for the. Y'all are killing it.
Blessed and highly favored.
Yeah, you didn't even have to try. Like the government mandated your Lent into law. So congratulations. Yeah.
Anita,
sorry. Go ahead, Rip.
Anita Renfroe on Zoom and on the radio. So you know what's going to happen now. She's been isolated and she's got all this stuff on the inside. When her first show publicly, she's going to explode.
Oh, so much. Yeah, I don't. It's like, the beached whale that they tried to blow up with dynamite. I don't know if it's going to be a good explosion, but there will be some sort of like a 2-hour show that I probably need to record because I've never been comedy constipated quite this long. not able to release what is built up. So maybe the whale thing is the perfect. But my middle son, when he was younger, like he would wear the same outfit over and over every single day. And I'm beginning to understand him. I feel like I should apologize because this is the first day I've washed my hair. I wasn't planning on growing out, but it is quarantine growing. Like I can't tell you, just because my hair's perverse. It knows I can't get anywhere to get it cut. And it's like, oh, I'm going to show you how fast I can grow. I could never make it grow this fast in the real world. But in isolation.
Morgan, you feel our pain, don't you?
I do. I haven't had mine cut in a while, and the one haircut I had before my wedding got canceled. So we're just going to see how that goes because I don't do hair.
Were you planning on an updo, or now you're just going to have one out of COVID problems?
Well, so my hair, I haven't washed mine in probably a couple days, and I have curly hair, so I don't know how to tame it.
Yeah.
Some someone who's going to be doing a really cool braid and all the things that I can't do that I've tried to watch tutorials on, and it's just not going to work. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with it. I tried one out yesterday, which my best friend told me no, that wasn't how I was going to wear my hair. So apparently got vetoed. But yeah, we'll just see. We'll just see how it goes. My color's all messed up. It's a fun time.
Isn't it? It's a revealing time, isn't it? Everyone's natural hair color is just rising from those roots.
At least my fiance still calls me beautiful, so I've got that going for me.
That's you know what? What else do you need?
You know what? I'll bet the Tiger King could tame that hair.
Oh my God.
Have you seen his hair?
That man makes me look sane. That man gives me hope that I am not on the far end of the spectrum of sanity. I went and watched it only because everybody's like, "Oh, Tiger King, no Tiger King," and I was like, "Oh man, this man is best." I have friends from Oklahoma who are like, "Why? Why did it have to be Oklahoma?"
Anita Renfroe, there in her living room. We're watching her on Zoom, and also she's on the radio. Morgan, what questions do you have for her?
I was just going to see, you mentioned before we went live here that this time is comedy gold. What is the funniest thing you have seen come out on the internet? Because I've seen some funny things, but I want to know from a comedian's standpoint.
The meme world is winning right now. I think all of the time that we've had on social media heretofore has been just preparation for social media to have a moment. I mean, everyone is up. And one of the funniest things I saw was, I think Beth Moore posted it on her Twitter. It was a video of a lady from New York, and I'm sorry that I don't know her name, but she was giving her normal social media update from her house, and she was saying all of these things that sound perfect, right? We're just bonding and we're loving our time together, and she would hold up the signs, help, as she was, they're making me cook and clean all the time, they're holding me hostage. So all the right words were coming out of her mouth, but the real messages were flashing across. If you can get to Beth Moore's Twitter, go look.
Man.
Yes.
That is funny. Anita Renfroe.
I wish I thought of
it.
Yeah. Anita Renfroe in her living room on Zoom and on the radio. We're going to take a break here in a second. Dan, you have another question for her?
No, I just have to say thank you, Anita. My cheeks hurt, and this has been a stressful time. We're working more than we ever have for some reason, so I'm ready to get back to work, so I don't have to work so much. And just my
son and son-in-law are also on staff at our church, and the same thing. They are working twice as hard trying to get many things videoed and in the can as they can.
Yeah.
And they've been working long hours. So I especially appreciate those of you who are providing content that it's having to cause, so much more interaction with your job.
Right.
But be so thankful that you have a job where you can still work. You know, I would like to also add that people that are like me, that depend on gatherings of people to make our living. I so much empathy for their financial situations. And I have to say, if you have an artist, not me, but other artists that you know of that were living from show to show, if there's any way, if the Lord has prospered you and you are not affected financially by this, that you can support them in any way, to purchase things off of their websites, to Venmo straight up cash and say, I know this must be hard for you, and say, I'm praying for you, and I'm just like to put a little bit into your tank that must be empty right now. Just if the Lord leads. I'm not telling anybody to go take money that your family needs, that you need to feed your family. But if the Lord has prospered you and you have a way to bless people, there are artists and worship leaders and songwriters and singers and comics that were already just living hand to mouth already. And I cannot imagine what they must be experiencing right now. It must be very, very hard. They must be leaning very hard into the messages that they've been writing in their songs for all these years. But just to make you aware, there are people that bless your family by the content they create.
Mhm.
And if you have the means, now would be such a wonderful time, not only just to help your neighbors. I believe the Lord puts us in spheres of influence in our communities, but then also, ding, ding, it's time to eat.
Your eggs are ready, by the way.
But if in your sphere of influence, there are also people that have taken their art and poured into your life.
Mhm.
And if you have the means, and if the Lord has prospered you, now would be a wonderful time to bless them in return. Because I feel that we're constantly moving resources around in the kingdom of God. And that's part of why we're blessed. If you look at the Abraham covenant, it says, I will bless you so that you may bless others.
Right.
And so I pray right now, wherever our listeners and watchers are in their communities, that they're blessing others with their actions. I mean, how do we show that the love that Christ has poured into us is real? Is in the time of crisis, we're not afraid. I remember, I remember Princess Diana during the HIV apex,
Mhm.
and how she went into those hospitals and touched people
Mm-hmm.
when no one else would. And this is how we spread the love of Christ abroad, and not the COVID germs, but the love of Christ is we are willing to meet needs in times when other people walk away.
Mhm.
So I pray that we're blessing our own communities, our cul-de-sacs, the streets where we live, the hospitals where within our reach, and do kindness and show the love of Christ. But I also pray that we are moving resources around in the kingdom of God worldwide so that our brothers and sisters may not suffer. So I would just encourage you, if the Lord brings anybody to your mind in that category, just, reach out. If nothing but an encouraging word, that can mean everything in the middle of a time where you feel like you are not able to provide for your family.
Mm.
But the Lord is.
Yeah.
That is so good, Anita. It really, really is. Hey, we got to take a break. Anita, we'd love to catch up with you in a couple of weeks or so. No doubt we'll all
The
still.
hair will be longer. Yay! Let's do
Hey,
it.
maybe
And
you will
I'll-
have shaved by then too. So
Miracles happen in the middle of crisis.
Hey, we'll be back. Check out AnitaRenfroe.com. That's her website. And looking forward to when she can get back on the road and in public. It's going to be,
I cut my bangs.
yes.
it's going to be a long show. Get ready for it.
It's so long, y'all.
We'll be right back. This is Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
And I'm Morgan Levine.
Stay right there.